Welcome back, icons of the world, for another episode of the Metro Icon Podcast with your boy, Shawn Kay the Showman, owner of Do It All Entertainment and DIA Media Solutions. So many things that are happening and developing with this show, and I appreciate all of you that's been tuning in. We've had some incredible episodes that's come through, and this one is no different. Now, we're going to be going through a whole nother revamp, building up on the team. That's right, y'all. We have more shows that are coming up. Other podcast platforms, bringing on a media partner. Essentially, the team is becoming an elite squad to be able to not only put out the best in the podcast productions, but being able to help others and being able to help them get their podcasts out and get other shows produced, both audio and video. So you guys are just going to keep seeing an elevation in the production as it goes on. This episode's a whole lot of fun, but before I go into that, y'all, just once again, you can not only rent this production yourself, but we are always looking for sponsors, because now we're going to have multiple podcast platforms that we can pretty much syndicate promotions across multiple podcast stations for your business. On top of that, being able to create video commercials for the video episodes itself, as well, the audio commercials. So make sure you guys come hit us up on the social. Shawn Kay Do It All, Metro Icon. Hit me up and let me know how we can promote your business and get this done, y'all. I also have a lot of new events that are coming up. Two Brothers this Friday. And as well, you can catch me at the Library Bar for the next 2 weeks. I got a silent party happening the following Tuesday, so next Tuesday. And then I'll be DJing there Friday night. And then the last Tuesday of the month is our karaoke and open mic. So come through these next events and have some fun with me, y'all. This is a very, very fun episode because I'm talking to a long-standing industry friend, my man Yogi, and his boy DJ ALX, which I had the pleasure to meet. And this is a relationship that has such a strong history. And I had an opportunity to do an event in Houston, so I had to sit down with these guys and get this episode. So this is one of the first episodes that we recorded going into the second season. So enjoy. This is my episode with DJ Yogi and DJ ALX.
Another project that's not going to make us any more money. I'm down.
Yeah, I know.
I'm down.
Oh, yeah. What can you do, y'all?
You can do it all.
Yes, you can.
You can.
Do it all, baby. There we go. That is the intro, and that's how we play into the Metro Icon Podcast, which is back after a very, very long hiatus, y'all. And man, I had to go big to make sure that it was nice, bright, and flashy for y'all. So the best way I can do it is to put three brown, bald guys in one podcast and ultimately just shine our knowledge and light in the world of entertainment and media and all the icons that live in it. And by God, y'all, do I have some icons sitting in front of me. Not only do we have the likeness for the same head style, lumpy free head, smoothness all around. We have two H-Town legends in the house, everybody. My man, DJ Yogi, woo, a long history, and of course, Alex over here. Is it
yes,
Alex
yes.
DJX?
No, it's just DJ ALX.
DJ Alex,
But it
no
used
E.
to be no E, but it used to have 3 X's. But then I got older and I had to drop those because I got married.
I want to hear that pre-retirement story of what life was like when the 2 extra X's were there.
As we got older, we kept on dropping X's.
There's
Yes,
definitely
yeah.
something there, y'all. This is an amazing episode that's going to uncover so much, and it's funny because we literally just pushed record, but we've been talking for like an hour, just catching up in the world of what's going on in with entertainment, but with doing Indian weddings and all that. Yogi and Alex are you guys from the same part of India? Well, I don't know.
No, I'm Gujarati.
So you're Gujarati.
I'm Punjabi.
And you're Punjabi.
Yes.
And, they rocked a lot of Mullu weddings, but me and Yogi had the opportunity to work an event together let's just say eons ago. I don't know the exact number, but I think it's eons.
Might have been 2017.
All I know is I had hair. I had hair the first time.
Wow.
I didn't.
And he still didn't. That's how consistent Yogi is. From day one, he's never shifted to the
Clean,
point.
Mr. Clean.
And there's actually a lot more to dive into that. But before we get serious and everything, me and Yogi worked years ago, and it was such a just seamless event, and it was for a cousin of mine. And let's dive a little bit about that, because I know that, obviously we didn't know each other, and I was kind of fresh in the game. I've heard of you before I did that event, but I talk about the stipulation of that, how all these Indian clients and parents always bring their family members in. And so that was what you heard, that the groom's family.
Yeah, so your cousin, they, and we do this not just with this couple, but we do it with every couple. We're always trying to make the entertainment experience better for a wedding. And so MCs had been, kind of something that we were exploring. Back in the day, we were just the MCs.
Yeah.
We started off just announcing stuff.
But just a DJ.
Just a DJ.
Yes. You're the DJ.
Just a DJ. We do the DJ, we do the lighting.
Yeah.
The lightning.
Hey,
Sorry,
no, we do the DJ. We do the DJ.
We do the lighting. You had that joke for the longest time.
Yeah.
I don't do the DJ. I am the DJ. So for this particular couple, just like we do every other couple, I had recommended, why don't we go with one of our MCs, and this is what they do, and they immediately shut it down, saying, don't worry, we have somebody in our family who will be the MC. And we hear that all the time, and you and I were just joking about it just a little while ago, where it's a brother or a cousin or some friend or something, and they're 99% of the time
they're so funny at the family parties.
They're not.
They're doing a wonderful job. He's so funny, good at the family.
Not in front of 500 of your family and friends.
Oh yeah.
They get stage fright. They don't know how to do a proper introduction. They're okay. I'm going to be honest.
But it's also knowing the details too, like your photography team, your videography team that needs to know these things are happening, and knowing these marks that are moving. And not just jumping the gun without the consideration of like your other working vendors.
100%.
It's a lot of moving pieces.
I don't think they realize the qualifications or the items that need to be taken care of as a proper masters of ceremony and all that. And it's fine, and we have to go through that. But this couple kept on. I said, no, I think you need it, and it's going to bring the energy. And they said, listen, trust us. We have somebody. And I was like, okay. And I think about a week or two before, we had the timeline, and I think I had said or recommended, like, hey, why don't I talk to your MC? We'll get it on. And you and I just had a quick chat. And I think within 10 minutes, we were like, we're good. I'm looking forward to meeting you.
Yeah.
And I still remember you coming in there, and you said, hey, man, nice to finally see you. Where's the microphone? Let's go do some checks. And I think within that, just checking of the mic, I was like, okay, this is somebody different. This is something very unique. And then we actually opened the doors. We actually started the program, and lo and behold, I was just like blown away. Like from the minute that I saw you, and then we were just like vibing off of each other, like on the fly.
Oh man,
we had a fun time.
That is like one of my most favorite things, because it's like, obviously, I do a lot of events with Illest, being like a full do-it-all team. But I've done so many events with DJs all over the country, right? That like. Even the first times, and it's crazy how that connection is like instantaneous. It's very hard for you to have a developing relationship where eventually it gets good. Most of the time, it's like right away.
Right away
that it's a solid working relationship. So it's kind of like. I love that synergy we had from like the jump.
We talked about it the whole night. We were like, dude, where you been? Where you been? Oh my God, this is amazing. Keep it going. That's all we did.
I heard about you when I was a little kid. You're the one and only Yogi, and I'm finally here.
That never came up.
Listen,
I'm not that much older.
Listen, no, Yogi is like it's funny like hearing the term like OG, like you're my OG, right?
Wow.
Like, and that was a game changer for me. Now we're not going to go into the fountain of youth that Yogi has discovered throughout his journey in life, but he was the first DJ just to do it in general, as far as the Indian population in the U.S. of A. The biggest thing is your company's called Karma DJs.
Karma
right?
DJs.
Karma DJs, right? And I'm just so rehearsed with your guys' history, but my understanding is that your family created the theology of karma.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And ultimately, they realize what goes around comes around, and you turned that with turntables.
With turntables.
And so
Wow.
Karma DJs
Kept it going round and round.
it just happened. And so with all of that history,
Dope.
Look at Alex was like,
I'm blown away. I'm just blown away. That's awesome.
we're gonna get to you, Alex.
I gotta use this.
There's 2 X's in my story that I want to get to, but we're gonna get to you in a second.
Oh man.
Do you have that jersey still?
I still have that jersey. Yeah.
Go get it, dude.
When we take a break, because I do shout out some sponsors that's supported the podcast. When we do that break, I might have you come back. in the
Come
jersey.
back in the jersey.
But real talk though, Yogi has been in the game for how many years? Let's be real about it.
So I'm kind of always trying to figure out exactly what year, but I think safely, probably like 95 is when I was kind of like really starting to get into it a little bit more seriously. So that'd be over 25 years, about 27, going on 28 years.
Okay.
And kind of started off as a just like a hobby, helping out other DJs that were here in Houston.
So you were like a tech guy?
I was mainly like a tech guy. I was just a little kid, high schooler, going and helping in, loading in stuff, and loading up CDs, packing, and things like that. Slowly got the love of the music. Shout out to Pankaj Patel, DJ Rocky, 2 of my biggest mentors here in Houston.
I was just going to ask that. Like, who did you learn from?
Straight up. I mean, if anybody's been here in Houston or even Texas, probably since like the late 80s and early 90s, I mean, these were solid names that really ran weddings, parties at some of the Maharaja restaurant and Haley and some of the things, and DJing was just coming up. I mean, it was live bands when we started DJing. It was, if you got married, you were hiring a live band.
Oh, yeah.
There was no such things really as DJs there. And so we caught that wave where we were just starting to get in, and you had to bring speakers and all that.
I mean, that's when that whole remix side was coming in.
Exactly.
So that kind of helped us elevate.
The Magic Mikes, the Bali Sagus, J Dobby, you name them, like DJ Jithin. Shout out to all those guys. And we were blessed that we got, 1997, 98, when Alex and I met up, we got a chance to perform with them, open them up, and even to this day, they're friends of ours, and just great influences, and we all still kind of message each other, Facebook, tag each other on stuff. But that's when I started back in the mid 90s and learned the craft and really learned music and how to mix it. And shout out 2 decades later.
Still learning. Those are still learning.
Still learning and evolving. And I want to speak to that because that's such a huge piece to it, to be in the game for that long, because I'm sure you guys have ran into your entertainers that, let's say, have some sort of longevity, but they're so stuck in their ways and be like, this is what's successful, like this is what works. So like they just do what works, but not trying to evolve their game. And I love that you guys have been at least staying fresh to it. Because I think about this, man, like to be the Indian DJ in the 80s, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, you thought our parents are disappointed now.
Oh,
like, you know what I mean? Like, can you imagine? And so it's such a, and that has to be obviously the time prior to CDJ. So you're talking about vinyl to vinyl. That blows my mind, because I'm like, I would have no patience.
It wasn't even vinyl to vinyl. I saw tapes.
Oh yeah, you had to have a tape player.
There was a tape. There were some DJs back in the day, even in the 90s.
Cassette tapes.
There were
For those of you who don't
tapes.
know about what that is, cassette tapes.
But Shawn, check this out. There were cassette tapes that had pitch control. I never even heard of that.
Yeah.
And there were because some of this music was coming out before CDs, and they were coming out on tape. And these DJs were playing, and then they would pitch it up, and I was just like, in what world? So I luckily learned on the CDs. So I still to this day have CDs and remixes, and I learned on that age group. And but shout out to anybody, like you said, who rocked it in those fashions. And
I mean, cassette tapes.
I don't even know how they.
Yeah.
Cassette tapes. Oh, I mean, vinyls. It's like you can actually understand
Yeah.
a little bit of those properties, but because I mean, it's kind of like want to get to that song. You got to fast forward, and you're just like,
Oh yeah, it was funny because like our setup was usually two turntables. I mean, they were never techniques. They were some gym sounds, some cheap stuff. Then you had to have a one tape player.
Yeah.
Because that was like the USB. Somebody bought a tape and said, we need to play this track. And if you didn't have a tape player, you were just in trouble. So you had to have one tape player and then a CD player. It was usually a Discman.
Yeah.
It was one Discman, and you had to put all of this cotton and stuff under it so it wouldn't skip.
Shock absorber.
Yeah, and that was your setup.
And how it's evolved to. Do you have AUX skimmer?
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you have the AUX skimmer?
Now these aunties, uncles are like, oh, get on YouTube and download my song right now.
Oh man,
Yeah.
Right now. And like, I'm just coming from years ago where.
And boy, am
hard
I
it was.
holding back, calling out the YouTube Indian DJs that are still working right now.
Yeah.
Oh, am I holding back? Let's not get into that, yo.
That's a whole different episode.
Yeah, it's a whole different episode. And we want to show love to everybody, but man, do we have some shit to say sometimes? But
For
love
real.
it's all love. It's all love in the industry. But I want to go back to a little bit something that you guys pressed on me. You guys said you both started in around that 95 to 97 era, but you knew each other for that long. So talk to me about this relationship a little bit.
It's funny because I grew up in a town called Angleton, Texas, which is about 40 minutes away from Houston, going south. And we had a mutual friend named Rishi Goswami, and he would always try to get us together. You know, you had that one guy that's like, hey, I see the vibe. You're a DJ. My friend's a DJ. You guys need to get together. And I'm just like, man, nah. You know, I was a hip hop DJ. That's all. I didn't know any Indian music, and I didn't know who Yogi was. So it wasn't one of those.
Yogi, were you more house?
I was actually more house and Desi remixes.
Okay, so I see where that blend is. House and hip hop has a good there's a good synergy there.
Yeah. But I guess we got on the phone and then we just talked. But it's just whatever it is, right?
I think we were asking each other, like, do you have this? Okay.
Yeah, it was all about equipment, right? It was about equipment.
And then what else do you have? Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't even about the music.
We were supposed to meet up, and it never happened.
Yeah, and then fast forward a few years later, was it
97? There was a entertainment company here in Houston by the name of Music Masala, and they were known for throwing some of the largest Desi parties here.
We're talking like 1,000 to 1,500 people.
Not
an
just
event
here in Houston, but Texas, but then even probably in the nation at this time. We were talking about all these remixers and DJs and everybody kind of coming in town, and that promoter at that time brought in DJs, and so I was one of the DJs that they brought in. I think they were testing us.
Yeah.
And he was another DJ that they brought in, and we have another mutual friend, DJ Scoop. He was another DJ that was brought in, and so the three of us kind of were like the main resident. We ended up being the main resident DJs. I would do more the main room that was more dance music and Desi remixes, and then Alex and Scoop were more in the back room where they did more like
hip-hop, house,
reggae, some of the more just top 40 what was being played on the radios. And so it was a winning combination. Like, we all had our own separate rooms, and then something happened. I think him and I just got even that much more closer. We started producing music, remixes, started coming up with some stuff, and then we spun off, and then we just kept our relationship going. I mean, we're still here 20 years now.
Yeah, that's dope.
Plus.
Yeah,
radio show, Generation Radio, did that for over 20 years. Remixes, we're still doing
I don't even think a day goes by we don't talk on the phone, and we talk about music. We talk about the same stuff over and over again
every day.
But it's interesting.
Yeah, and we're still learning from each other. We're still learning from other. I mean, we learn so much just from you, just sitting here.
Yeah.
So we're just sponges, and we love meeting people and collabing with people and coming up with projects. And I think that's the like you said, you have to remain humble, and you have to remain. That's what's going to get the longevity, I think.
But what I do remember between us was just trying to understand how to DJ better.
Yeah.
Right? And I remember just looking.
I mean, you guys are going to be naturally challenging each other, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's kind of like how, like, I'll challenge somebody. I know I'm not going to ever be, I mean, I know the basics of DJing.
Yeah.
I'm never going to be able to touch something, like, ever. And so, but sometimes he knows that I'm going to challenge him. Like, hey, man, I'm wondering if this would mix with this. And he's like, well, I'll fucking find it, you know? and so, but, you know, when it comes to that camaraderie between DJs, that's ultimately, it's like, you can do so much trying to work the game by yourself, and you're like, okay, that sounds good, that blends good with that. But really trying to feed off somewhat two different styles, but finding that commonality. I mean, like, you guys nailed it. That's exactly what growth is.
Yeah.
He's always been the stronger DJ when it comes to hip hop.
Yeah.
But I felt like even there were some years where he stopped working on that craft, and then I kind of stood up a little bit. And then now he's again like the stronger DJ. So we've even done that over our 20 plus years of like, there's like these moments where like, hey, I learned this scratch, and now I got like a one up on him, and then he'll come back and he'll be like, well, not only did I learn that scratch, but I learned something else, and it's like, damn it, man, I'm back now. So we've constantly been challenging each other and learning more, and it's just fun.
It's funny because I mean that's the hip hop side, but the house side, like right now, I'm totally into house. I'm like that is my jam right now.
Yeah.
And I got all that from him.
I'm from Chicago, so like house is so strong.
There you go. Yeah, and I got all that from him because I remember we would go over his apartment and he would just be spinning house records all day, and I'm like, man, this shit sucks, dude. Come on, let's just play some hip hop, right? And now I'm like the opposite.
Where are those records?
Yeah, where are those records? And hey, I just want to play some electronic music, and when can we start? And he's like, nah, man, get back into hip hop, dude.
I think that evolution comes with age, when your joints come to a point where it becomes too painful to bounce to hip hop music. And with house music, you can kind of just do this little rock from side to side. It's very ergonomically functional for your body to stay.
And arthritis doesn't matter anymore because there's no real scratching involved or nothing like that. It just up and down, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, you know what? I know you got to sometimes figure out the move just to make sure you ain't hurting yourself, you know? Still got these cases to carry when the gig is done.
There you go.
House is easy.
So I mean, I think it's funny. So Alex, you were kind of, I think, a newer energy. I've known Yogi for years, but you were kind of a newer energy. But there's a part of my memory I feel like that I have seen you like before. Like I feel like I've definitely seen your, like, you know, just presence within, I guess, when social media was definitely coming out. Maybe within the few years that I've had met Yogi. But in those times, I was just more so shocked. I was like, man, this Dominican Republic Cuban guy is killing it with Indian music. I don't know what brought. I want to know his story. Lo and behold, he ended up being from the tribes. I was like, shit. There's more of us those racially ambiguous motherfuckers still in this running this game. I love it.
That is so funny because that's all I got. They're like
all the time.
Oh man, I remember going to events and they're saying, you know, in Gujarati, they're saying in Gujarati, they're just saying, how does he know how to play Indian music? I'm like, motherfucker, I'm one of y'all.
I hear it all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, like Malayali people who don't know me from the community are like, how do you know so much about our culture? You know, mind blown.
Yeah.
That this Mexican Filipino guy happens to have two Malayali parents.
I see that big time now.
Oh yeah, that's. I mean, listen, I'm a showman. I'm a man of a lot of different skills and strengths and things that I play very well with. But my greatest strength is my racial ambiguity. 100%.
Yeah.
You know,
it's great that you're just you accept it and then you grow on it.
And then there's those rare times where somebody's like, "You're Indian, right?" I'm like, fuck, I'm like not looking exotic today. My game is, and then you think about like, man, what's the average Google search of Indian man look like? Just South Indian man. You're getting some dark, sweaty, dirt under his fingernails. I'm like, I lost that exotic touch today.
It's like, what gave me away, man? Right guard or what?
Man, but I mean, it's a beautiful thing to see how you guys have developed that. Now, I got to say, you guys been in the game for as long as you have. I was shocked to see how big your TikTok game has blown up.
Man, that's this man right
I
there.
knew that there was a story behind it. There's no way these old farts have come into the TikTok game so willingly with enthusiasm that they're pushing out all this content and videos. And I'm just like, what's the secret sauce? So I need to know the secret.
So we got to shout out our boy JB.
JB.
DJ Junham. And he has been, huge. First of all, phenomenal DJ.
Yeah.
Our youngest DJ, the youngest team member, the newest team member. But he's just understands metrics and analytics and that's it. He's like, I want to take over our TikTok account. I want to take over our IG, and
So
I want to
cute.
work some magic. And are you okay with it? And me and Alex are like, please do something.
Yeah.
We are good.
Yeah.
And we've given him like a ton of just footage, clips, things like that we've collected over the years. And I think he's just rolling with it and having fun with it.
I need him.
Yeah, yeah. I'm being serious.
I'm 100% jealous of it because it's just like we have fun. I've become an old man in that sense. Like where like I know how necessary social media is, and I love this game, and I love now. That's why I've stepped into this realm of podcasting because there's now this new truth element that I'm uncovering this, and I feel like I'm doing this actually more for me, not as much for the blow up, because I get so much out of these conversations, but I feel like that so much else uncovered. But when it comes to like running that social media game, like it's so tedious now.
It's draining.
Yeah.
Like it's draining. Like it takes so much time to add, hashtags or tagging people in IG posts and all this kind of shit. And then if you don't tag somebody, the offense, so it's like,
Oh, yeah.
So like, I have to shout out, my girl, my future Mrs. K, my fiance Pilar.
Yeah.
She's come with me on a fair amount of events because a lot of times I've had these gigs in Chicago. She'll drive out to Indiana to meet me because that's how she's just making it work for
Oh,
us.
that's
Spend time
awesome.
together.
Yeah.
But she comes with me on these events, and she's like, after the first time working together, she has been on. I have so much footage just recorded.
Yeah.
But she's so on it with like she'll write down every person's IG tags.
Wow.
So when she's making those videos.
Nice.
She's adding the tags, or she'll just record it and then record these moments, and then when it dies down, then she's going to IG and she's uploading it with the tags and all this kind of stuff. So like people are like, "Yo, how the hell are you getting these?" Getting these clips so quickly and all, and she's just in it, like, and I don't have to tell her like, hey, this is happening. She knows, okay, don't need to record the speeches or anything like that, but the special moments that are happening, especially the party moments, and so she's right there. And then because of her, it was a clip of a party I did with Illis, but unfortunately he wasn't featured in the clip, but thankfully so. He has enough clout as it is. He doesn't need to be featured.
Shout out Illis.
DJ Illis.
There you go.
Everyone knows our relationship. I have nothing in common with that guy, but he steals everything from me. Taught him everything he knows.
Love it.
But no, and then Smiley Sing. And it was a clip of us doing the wobble. And Smiley is so energetic as a adult. I mean, like, outside of just having the energy he does as a dole player and a drum player, like, he knows the dances. So, like, I was doing the wobble, and a clip of us doing that got on Complex.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was like...
I think I saw that one.
Yeah,
I saw that.
It was such a blessing for Smiley. And then it was maybe a couple weeks later, and his Instagram gets hacked and all of that.
Oh, man.
Oh, my heart broke for the guy.
Smiley, two-factor authentication.
Come on, we know this.
Oh man, I mean,
This should not be getting hacked because we are natural IT
But we're the ones hacking. That's
Is that what's going on?
I mean, listen, we have no love for anybody, especially our own people. That's what Indian people are known.
Straight up.
I think Russell Peters said it best. It's like racists hate other cultures. Indians hate each other. And it's so true, And so, which, I mean, obviously is even a whole nother directive of conversation that we can talk to about just like general trends of our culture that we can talk about. But within the game, there's just so much to unravel. I mean, where do you think the biggest evolution was for you guys when it came to performing, not only doing Indian events, but to keep that longevity with your clientele, knowing full well that, like, you know, there are new talents and new people within the game and the market that are like just coming up. You never know, right? This is a very inconsistent game. It's really on you. So what do you think was like your guys' strong suit to hold on to that longevity through the evolution of the game?
I mean, for me personally, I'm still trying to figure that out. I'm going to be quite honest. You, like you said, I mean, the game changes. I think you just have to stay. You're just throwing darts. I mean, I think you got to do this. You got to follow this. You got to keep up with that. You got to constantly market. You got to just throw a dart and see if it sticks. And sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. I lose events to some of the younger DJs. We were just talking about that. Some of the other DJs, it could be price manipulation. It could be they're throwing in too much. People are just going off of hearsay, word of mouth. Sometimes
a lot of times it's just the dollar amount.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, especially when it comes to Indian clients, it's like they know what they want, but it really is just ends up being about the dollar amount.
Yeah.
I think for me, and even Alex, like me, we talk about this. Like we said, we talk about it quite a bit. We're at a point where we're very at peace, where we're not going to invest so much into if we don't get a booking, or if we do get a booking. I mean, we're going to remain humble at the end of the day.
Sure.
If we get it, hey, even better. If we don't get it, we look at it. I mean, we both each have 2 kids. We both have wives. We have that family. So for us, we both look at it as a blessing. I asked him this weekend. I was like, hey man, you're the only DJ not working. You're gonna be okay. And he's like, are you kidding me? Like, I'm so excited. I'm actually gonna go.
Well, I get to work on remixes and music, and it's still in that realm, right?
So
not getting paid for it though.
No, but it's not. But you're getting paid in other ways. Back to your roots. You're creating another craft, another passion project. I mean, in a way, that's a blessing. A lot of people don't get that opportunity.
True.
So I think at the end of the day, you just have to remain humble. The less that you desire, the more happier I think you're going to be. Just like Buddha, like that's what Buddhism is that you just have to. That's it. Just be thankful for what you get.
If I were to speak on, I mean, and this is what it is. It's that genuinity. You guys are just 2 real ass motherfuckers.
Thank you.
That you stay consistent to the integrity of the game throughout. And regardless of like the clout and the reputation that ultimately is continuously growing, and you guys hold it up, and you just continuously maintain that consistency and level of professionalism and integrity to the game, that you haven't been corrupted. The game hasn't corrupted you. And it's like I live by, and I repeat this so many times on this podcast, but I live by 2 mantras. This one, humble is key like Bumble is bee.
Mm-hmm.
My Bob Marley Bumblebee and all that. And that's just keeping that nature to the forefront of my mind. But the other one is entertainment's greatest obstacle is always the individual easing their godliness out. And that's a double acronym for ego. Entertainment's greatest obstacle, ego, easing godliness out, ego. And it's not even in any religious sense, but godliness to me is just like that awareness of who you are and then what your connection is to the universe, whatever it is, right? And so like if you lose that connection to the world around you, then you're just yourself, or you're just self-centric. It's just focused on you, and so that's where the ego comes to play. So I mean, it's respect to you guys, and that's why it's an honor for me to be able to sit here and just kind of connect and man, it for you to have the enthusiasm that you did, Yogi, like when you picked up my call and you're like, yes, let's make this work and all this kind of stuff. I mean, I know
more of it was just I just wanted to hang with Shawn Kay. That's
man, the showman. Come on,
you brought up the podcasting later. The text was, "Can we hang out?" And I was like, "Fuck yeah!" We're always so busy. We never get to see each other. And
Absolutely.
You're running in. I'm running out. We're working. We never get a chance to just sit for an hour and just chill.
We're just on an event together, and it's like we have our downtime. Like it's not really.
It's not real downtime.
No. Yeah.
And then you said, "Hey, I've got a podcast." I was like, even better. But can we drink a little bit? Can we hang out? Like, where are our drinks, by the way?
We are drinking. You know what?
My bad.
No.
We're gonna take a break.
I was wondering this. So is it also in Houston that they don't sell alcohol on Sundays? Like
they
liquor?
don't. They don't.
No. Yeah.
So it's a Texas thing.
So no, but beer. You can do beer.
No, I don't think you can.
Yeah, after 10.
I think
okay,
maybe
maybe.
beer
It's
and wine.
liquor. Beer and wine. Liquor
is definitely
Sunday is closed.
Yeah. Beer's like after 12, I think, or
It's,
something.
it's 12. Okay, my
Then
bad.
after
I just never
after church
never bought at
closes,
10.
then you can go get drunk.
All right, because this definitely reflects to the world of entertainment media, but fun happens on Sundays. What the fuck is Texas thinking with this shit?
Yeah, why call it Sunday Fun Day then?
I
Sunday
don't-
Fun Day. Houston created.
If you can drink
Sunday
at the
Fun Day.
bar, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
you can drink at the bar, why the hell can't you get your own bottle? That's so backwards to me.
It doesn't make sense, right?
And then the average Texan just got to come back like, no state income tax. I'm like, crap, you know, got me again with that, you know, me being from Chicago. But man, I was because I like to always do have a drink, even if it's like an afternoon or a morning, whatever. I do like to have a drink sometimes, and my number one drink is Jack Daniel's Honey. So I brought my socks. I'm at Jack Daniel's Honey socks.
Nice.
But I don't have the bottle, so you can't. This doesn't benefit any of us.
I had a Jack Daniel's Honey, but I had my wife's cousin came and drank it all.
Are you an old fashioned man?
I am not necessarily. I just had the bottle.
I'm an old fashioned man.
Yeah.
So that's why I love Jack Daniel's Honey. It's like the country old fashioned you can just pour out of.
Wow.
Nice.
I can just drink it on the rocks.
So, yeah, I've been lately into Boulevardiers. Have you heard of that? It's basically a Negroni, but instead of the gin, you put a rye whiskey in there.
All right, this is the bougiest side I ever got. DJ. This is DJ ALX XXX, by the way, pushing out his French ass drinks on me.
The funny thing is,
A little racial infliction of Negronis, jabronis, and all the bullshit.
Wow. The first time I ever had it, though, was at an Indian restaurant.
Yeah.
Wow.
This guy put chai in there, too.
Oh, what?
Yeah. And he's like...
And what kind of alcohol is it?
It's a rye whiskey. So he called it what do you say? A Boulevardier.
Well, that's kind of like an Irish whiskey,
Yeah.
you know, like they put, or Irish coffee.
Yeah.
You know, they put a little whiskey in it. So I mean, I can imagine, it might,
It
would probably taste pretty wild.
Alcoholic chai. I better try this.
You know what would probably taste pretty wild? This child with a little fireball, just like adding that cinnamon
should
in
do
there.
this.
I feel like there's something here.
Something's
There's
gonna happen,
definitely
you know?
something
That
here.
could work.
You know, me and Sanu talked about, like, you know, having these like cultural themed parties, like, but are food somewhat related, you know. So there's this one concept we thought, and this might be something that, you know, it might just take three bald Indian guys to do it.
Let's do it.
But dosha and soda,
Oh.
because
Ooh.
it's also you flip the letters, it's the same. Dosha and soda, it's the same four letters.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that.
Soda and dosha
Yeah.
and soda.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so,
I'm down.
I'm saying, like, I mean, I have my silent disco set up and everything.
I mean, they
so-
have dosas and mimosas, right?
I mean,
I've heard of that party.
That's a great way to bring in the white women, because we need as
That
many
is-
Courtneys at
seriously,
these Indian events.
Seriously, they love
Oh, you guys know that.
They love the
You're
Desi
more than
culture.
welcome to take it, but that's my term for drunk white women is Courtney.
Courtney's love it.
It's my thing. It's because of working in the nightlife industry, like at the clubs. That was like the one thing I was hearing. Court. Oh my God, Court. So I used to, when I would run I used to run the cabaret room at Castle Nightclub. It was the biggest tourist nightclub. So we had, you know, it was like 50% local Chicago, 50% tourist crowd. But I always play this game whenever I found a group of white women. I always play this game called Do You Know Courtney? And like 9.5 times out of 10, they know Courtney.
That's
And so,
dope.
do you know Courtney? Oh my God! You know Court? Every fucking time, and then, but every once in a while you come across that white woman who doesn't know Courtney. I'm like, introverted ass.
Yeah.
I don't get out much.
Because they don't get much. It's like, okay, go back to your cats, woman. Let me know when you find Courtney. You know?
That is too funny.
So-
I mean, yeah, be like, are you Courtney? If you don't know a Courtney?
Oh, I've met Courtneys. Are you like me, or are you saying my friend Courtney? But every white girl knows the Courtney, you know.
Wow.
But I think now it's starting to shift. That I think the realm of Courtneys like are there's not as much in like that 20 range, you know.
Yeah.
So when I was
Yeah.
younger, there was a shit ton of Courtneys.
Courtneys.
A little bit less, you know. You're starting to get a little bit more of these Anna Marias, Elise Marie's bullshit, you know. But whatever. But
Elise Marie.
yeah.
Wow.
Oh, there's no, and then, or like you have like Veronica Ann.
Wow.
I mean,
Yeah.
There's no cap to the basicness that you'll end up coming through the woodworks.
It's crazy.
But
even Desi kids' names are like so different now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like they've changed it up. There's no more.
I mean,
no one's naming their kids like what our generation.
Oh yeah, there's no. My real name is Ashish. There's no Ashishes anymore.
You know.
well, problem is that
I named my son Shawn, and it's SHAAN.
Solid.
Love it.
Wait, SHAAN?
AAN.
Shawn.
And there's like 10
Acceptable.
other. There's like 10 other SHAAN kids that we know. I think.
Yeah.
Like every other kid.
Which is
Shawn.
that's kind of the North Indian style. Because I know the South Indian style is SHON. Shawn.
Shawn.
Really?
And so it's funny, they spell it to the way the accent is.
Wow.
If you think about it, you know, it's because North Indian would be like Shan,
Yeah.
Shan, you know, like Shan,
Shawn,
you know?
come here.
But the South Indian calling it Shawn,
Shawn.
Shawn.
Spell it like that. That's
So
crazy.
that's exactly how the spelling is, right? But I have the biggest prejudice though against the SEAN ones. They're not real.
They're not real.
You're not real.
Scene.
Your parents lied to you. You're not real.
My brother-in-law's name is SEAN.
Yeah. His last name?
No, it's his first name. I mean, he's not Indian, so.
Oh,
but
he's not?
it's SEAN.
Is he Irish?
No,
Then he's not real.
What is Shawn?
Shawn is he's Persian.
Persian. That's
Yeah.
No.
That's his real name.
Yeah, because his dad just was like, we're not naming him a Persian name.
Wow.
You know? Wow. Straight up. I mean, his dad told me the same thing. Hey, we're going.
The intention to protect him was there.
And they went with the
They still lied to him.
SEAN. They went with the SEAN in their Persian. That's crazy.
So the funny thing is, I have a cousin, and his name is Shawn, spelled SCAN, but he was born in Ireland or Scotland.
Okay.
And his mom was like 7 months pregnant, so he was premature, ended up having the baby there, and then came back.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you fucking lucky motherfucker.
Yeah.
That your identity is intact. You know? He's the only Indian with that story. But other than that, like, I have this ongoing joke. Like, I meet people, even like my Lyft rideshare passengers, and it would be an SEAN. I'm like, hey, scene? He's like, Shawn. I'm like, oh, my bad, dude. and then I'll be like,
how do you deduct it? How the hell do you deduct it?
I don't care, man. Keep your money, bro. You probably need it more than I do.
That joke was worth it. That joke was worth the $5.
Hell yeah, it was worth it. I did a TikTok of this, but I have this ongoing joke with anyone named Jeff. Have y'all seen 22 Jump Street?
Which one?
22 Jump Street?
I've seen, yeah.
Or 21. But the second one at the end, like this opening scene. And it's like Channing Tatum has like they're trying to do like a Mexican drug deal or whatever. And Channing Tatum has like the worst Mexican accent. So he has this thing where he says his name is Jeff. He's like, my name is Jeff. And so
Okay, well,
it's like a GIF, I think.
No, yeah, because it's funny that I don't mean to take away from your joke, but my son came home, I think last year, and just kept saying, my name is Jet. And I couldn't figure out where it came from, and I started saying it. You just put this all together, connected it for me.
Yeah, this is why we do this.
Yeah, now I know where you got it from. Now I know where you got it from. But go ahead.
I wasn't planning to answering the other missing pieces of your life, but there is an underlying intention there.
Thank you, Shawn. Thank you, Shawn Kay.
Yeah, but every single time there's a passenger named Jeff that comes in, I say, "Your name's Jeff." And he's like, yeah. And so, but I can't help myself. It's how I entertain myself through the day, through the jobs I need to do sometimes.
Yeah,
you know? But but that's also another part of me just stepping in the realm of like comedy and really just embracing that part of my life.
Well, that's what I love about Shawn is that when we met, he wasn't your traditional quote unquote MC that just announced things.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the interaction. I mean, and you told me like you graduated from improv. So
yeah, well, this was before Second City. That first gig that we did, that was years before I did.
But you already had a knack. I still remember you were bouncing around the room. You were like interviewing people. You were like talking to people. You're just opening up, and I had never seen that. And the way you were just opened up. You were learning about people. You were making fun with people. It wasn't making fun of people.
Yeah.
But you were joking around. You were keeping it very lighthearted. You were asking them to sit down like in different ways. Like, yeah, you look great. Can you please go ahead and sit down? Like, I need you to sit down. And I had never ever experienced that. So hats off to you for bringing that to the table, because that was different for me. Like I was so used to just, ladies and gentlemen, blah blah blah. Please look over here. Do this, blah blah. But the way you were just working the crowd for that, you were like, give me the mic, turn me on. Like, I'm gonna go work. And I was like, what are you doing? We're not even ready yet. You're like, I got this. So that was really cool.
I'm a big believer of like, get them when the doors open.
Yep.
Not when they get to their seats, but get them when the doors open. And I also like to establish a little bit of that presence. Sometimes during the cocktail hour, and I kind of just scan around.
Yeah.
And I tend to see, and obviously I knew a lot of people there, but even on a wedding that is just not necessarily a family member, I tend to somehow see someone that I've made some sort of connection with, or know in some way, shape, or form, or knows of me. So they acknowledge that, and they're like, "Oh shit,
you're here. You're here.
Yeah, and so but it's I appreciate you saying that, man, because I feel like I was a lot nicer in that first event that we did. Like, in that time, I was much, much nicer. Now, I've become a little bit more of a savage MC. I call out a lot of bullshit.
Yeah.
So much sort of like, I've had weddings where it's like, this is one that I actively yell at children who run on the dance floor when shit is going on. And when I yell at children, I then yell at them to bring me to their parents, so then I can yell even harder at their parents.
Yeah.
Like, I've told parents, and I was just like, you can see what your child is doing, right?
Yeah.
And you know that there are 100 different areas that your child can burn off the pubescent energy and run around and do whatever they want. For you to have your child run around when an intimate moment is happening, it's the most selfish thing that you can do.
Straight up.
It's like, and ultimately what you end up doing is making your kid less cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
And
100%.
I'm like, I don't blame the kid. I blame you.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
And so I've checked people hard for that. But sometimes I get the opportunity to do it on a full room scale. Like, I've literally, because you have the room split, and you have one side of the family might be a little bit rowdier than the other. And so I've had those weddings where this one side they will not shut up during these speeches. You know what happens when that clutter of sound comes in. It doesn't matter how good your system is, that shit is just...
It overtakes it.
It overtakes it like crazy. And so I've literally been like, hold up. Like, I'm like, stop 1 second.
Yeah.
I want to just say, this side right here, you guys are doing exactly what you're supposed to do.
Wow.
This side right here, what is wrong with all of you? I'm like, I see so many Indian faces, which means this is not your first wedding.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, like, ultimately, if you have to have a conversation, you can have it outside, because it really is not necessary for you to
rude.
be here.
Very inconsiderate.
Yeah, man. This is somebody's lifetime event.
People forget that it is an absolute privilege to be invited to a wedding of any caliber. If somebody takes the position of being like, hey, I want you there on my special day, regardless if you're sitting in the back. There's a lot of people who probably did not get that ticket. Well, especially in the Indian community.
Now that's why I think you're seeing the trend, and we've been seeing it, obviously. Everyone's seeing it, but the couples now are planning smaller, intimate, destination. And the biggest reason is, I don't want a bunch of extraneous people that I personally, as a bride or a groom or us as a couple, we don't care about. I get it. So we hear that all the time, where a 600-person local Houston wedding that becomes a 150 people destination wedding, and everyone's okay with it except for dad, because he couldn't invite the 400 extraneous people that he wanted, but they still make it happen, and the couple's like, they're thrilled.
Oh, here's another thing.
We had a bride like who, remember the one in March that you did, Seema? She's like, we purposely have shortened up our ballroom because if I gave the other section to my my father, they would fill it up with 600 more people, and we capped it off, Yogi, at 400, and even that was like, it was daunting to her.
Yeah, I remember
so
that.
bad.
Yep.
It's wild, and so another part of my savagery is like the realness I've had to express to even like the parents of bride and grooms, right? Because you have those pre-event meetings, and sometimes you have those parents that like you ask the bride and groom a question and they answer it for them, right? Yeah. And I remember this one specific time, it was happening so often with the bride's father, and I was like, Uncle, I'm like, so with all due respect, and the reason why I'm here, and I'm certain that, maybe you're paying for a majority of this wedding to happen, but I have to ask you, did you write that check so you can have the wedding day that you want, or is this check written for the bride and groom, for your children?
Yeah.
What's the intention?
Yeah.
Because if you did it with the intention to get what you want, I'm like, I haven't heard anything of anything that she wants, and it's like you're speaking for her, and it's like, I'm pretty sure you wouldn't even want her to have a marriage like that. And I've been that person. Wow. And the bride and bride's like,
yes, where have you been, Omar?
Yeah. I didn't tell him to say that, but but again, it's like, who's fighting for them, and it's like, what is this day about, and it's funny if you put into terms, of keeping it very simple. That for me, my job is very easy. It's just to remind everybody why they're there, and I'm just doing that throughout the process. Whoever I have to call out, but it's just like, if you're not the bride and groom, it's like, why are you telling me what you want? It's like, I don't know. So, I mean, for me, I know that my transparency has been something that is very bold in action in a lot of situations.
And it works and it doesn't work, but I think the fact that you're standing up to it and being who you are, I think the right clients and the right brides and grooms are going to appreciate it.
Absolutely. And
you have to.
Yeah, and
that comes with age and experience. So when we started, we would listen to Dr. So-and-so or blah, because they are the ones paying. But now, as we've kind of grown up and we've seen and we've been through a lot of these events, we've paused the meetings and said, okay, can we ask, what are you both into? And I've seen him, and he said, well, he says it a lot more respectfully than I do. I'd be like, yo, what do y'all want? He's like, well, let's say it in a nice way, but it's awesome. But I think that only comes with experience. Yeah. You can do that.
The issue with, I guess, us DJs getting, the older DJs is sometimes the mom and dad are the ones that hire us because they're the ones who've heard of us. Right. And those events become crazy, or not even crazy, but just confusing, because who am I here for?
Right.
Yeah. Right. And so, I mean, for at least me, and I don't know about you, but we have to work even harder.
You do.
For the bride and groom to kind of get them on our side.
Yeah, and it's funny because a lot of these bride and grooms are just like, they just want to shut their parents up, so give them what they want. And it be something that they don't.
They've already fought about it.
Right. And so it's more so just like lack of headache on their end. But I mean, I know as an MC, for anything that happens, it's not about what you say, it's about how you say it, right? And you can keep things simple if you want to, but where's the excitement or challenge in that, right? And so, my thing is about making these moments so personal and all that kind of stuff, and pay attention to details. So that's why I love doing stand-up comedy and having that improv comedy background. That elevated, my natural, I guess, gift for gab, but just my attention to detail of what's going on, being able to pin things and then pun things. It's that has kind of been a journey that I've been very much enjoying. And I think the beautiful part about stand-up comedy is that having such great success doing weddings, it is very humbling when to have material and say a joke and just get crickets. I live in that awkwardness now, and it's like I enjoy that, and it's funny because when
at a wedding you're forced clapping, ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause. Where are my applause?
Right.
At a comedy club,
you'll get the round it.
You're like, make me laugh.
Yeah, like earn it. You have to earn it. Exactly.
Get your applause.
Yeah, exactly. So it's but I'm seeing so much of that experience kind of transcending into like my MC game. But yeah, it's something that I've always just kind of enjoyed and really love to just always connect with the crowd. But a lot of that you can gain disconnection from the crowd, not having connection with your working staff,
Yeah.
right? So that's why, like, I love the fact that, you know, we're able to have this sit down and this conversation. We're 50 minutes into this whole thing, and I don't even know when I can do a commercial break, because this conversation's just been that nonstop factor. But that's just love and true in the game, man. You know, more so than myself going out and just exploring new things. My greatest thing is connecting to like-minded, you know, legends growing in the game. But I mean, people that we've learned from, that has always been you guys have always been a supportive light to the industry. You know, you guys are not a company where you're like, you know, have to say little quips to show that you're better than this company, right? Yeah. Like I know you know, not to call anyone out, but like sometimes like you'll see, you know, that Chicago entertainment company, and they're first in Chicago to do it all, and I'm like, you know about us, you know about us, and how interesting that tagline is, you know. So it's kind of like, you see sometimes, like, and again, it's sometimes you can just still have that mindset of just being like, all right, you know, it's kind of just, you just let the business roll where it is and just not have any hate for the game. But again, it's like, if you're not getting booked, I take that as a reflection point. What am I not doing? What am I not doing to get, if that person got that gig, regardless if they undercut us with price, it's like, what am I figuring out to combat that?
Because you can't fight price with price. It's just never ever gonna work. So you gotta do something extra to get that price. You know,
we lose a lot of sometimes events or clients, and I'm also not gonna demean the hard work,
your value,
the culture, the effort that we put in, the 25 years of experience that we put in. We just weren't a right fit.
Absolutely.
And I'm okay with that. And I go to bed at night and I sleep at night, and we wake up and we start the next day, and we try to do it with the next client, and it's okay. And nobody in my team, I'm so blessed, and Alex being one of them, but Abbas, you know, Scoop, Musty, Junum, everybody on our team who literally believes in that. And they've all told me, they're like, we understand the game. And so we're not newbies. We've been around the block, so we get it. And we're not itching that we didn't get booked that weekend. Again, everybody's got families. Yeah. Everybody takes advantage of that time. So we're super blessed on that. But we're also at the same time, this is not gonna be a price war. It's not. And we're okay with that.
It's a very refreshing thing, but it's a good thing. That's long game thinking. You know, like, you know, most people who are upset about the loss of contract to whatever competitor. Yeah. It's a short game mindset that you're in. You're just thinking about the money now, right? Yeah. I got to ask you guys, have you ever found a client that wasn't the right fit that was willing to pay the full price?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And sometimes you just, again, it all comes with experience. You just have an energy. You have you read them. You see the way they're treating other vendors. They have this expectation, and sometimes those are just some red flags that you're just like, I don't think we're a good fit. And even though the money is good or whatever, at the end of the day,
stress. Who wants that stress? I don't want to be at that event stressed out.
Absolutely,
we don't want to be.
Right? It just.
I mean, and there's such a big card to that. It's like, aside from the fact of getting what we feel is what we're worth, is finding the worth of doing that event, right? Because it's like that check sometimes won't shake the taste of a bad experience event, right? Working with that bridezilla of a client or the parentzilla of the client. You know?
Well, even now recently, we'll get inquiries for weddings that only require Bollywood music. And I'll present it to him and say, are you available? I think you'd be a great fit. And he'll flat out tell me, I don't want to be there. And I'm like, but they're paying so-and-so. And he goes, I'm going to be honest. I want to be at a wedding that I can play or an event that I want to do my thing. I want them to book DJ ALX. I want them to read. I want to be able to keep this night going and playing stuff that we can vibe off each other. Yeah. They seem to be wanting a Bollywood DJ Yogi. Let's see if we can find a better fit. And
I mean,
At the end of the, I mean, he's just like, I don't want to be there.
let's be honest. I mean, none of us got into DJing to go do weddings. Let's just be straight up. I mean, my DJ passion wasn't, hey, I need to go do a wedding reception. It was for the music. It was for
Get into it for the bitches.
there you go, right? The double X.
Which we still got to dive into the start of ALX.
There you go, right? But no, so I mean, it was for the music. I mean, it was just I wanted to know how to DJ because I wanted to play music, and
do.
I mean, and the only reason why I'm still DJing at this age is because of Generation Radio, like this other realm of music that me and him have kind of found. We found what
kept us passionate
in 2000.
2000.
Because I remember around that time, I was in this flex of like, I don't think I want to DJ anymore because I mean, it's like. It was going towards just Bollywood, right? Everything was Bollywood, and I was never the Bollywood DJ.
Yeah, and I mean, don't get it twisted. It's not to say that you. I know you're not saying there's anything wrong with Bollywood, but
that's just for him.
That's for me.
But you want to bring that. Most DJs want to feel that variety within genre, like being able to play within that genre and bringing these things in that you didn't think that collided. And it's like, that a Bollywood song is going to mix with the majority of just Bollywood songs.
Straight up.
So I 100% get that feel completely, and I guess to any DJ's respect, to each their own. If you really only want to play house music, then only play house music.
I gotta pause this. Props to Illest.
Yes,
because
that dirtbag son of a gun.
Hey, Ellis, we're with you, brother.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome for everything.
Props to somebody like that. I mean, even he sent me clips of him because the way he flips current music, different genres, different cultures, does his own spin on it. I mean, I feel like that literally is the essence of what DJing should be for everyone. And props. I mean, and not many people can do it. I was telling you, like, he makes it look so easy, and it's not easy at all.
I mean,
it's not easy at all. But that to me would be the essence of what really DJing is. I mean, he's not up there playing the same two Bollywood songs over and over again. He's not playing Pepas with Dancer Could Do. He's not doing that, but he's flipping it and doing it. And I think that's what we as DJs, even at this level, 25 years in the game,
still learning.
We look for content like that inspires.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think just with Alex and not just Alex, but any of my DJs, we definitely try to find the right fit for the DJ with the crowd, with the couple, with the client. Sometimes
that's awesome.
Yeah, sometimes you book it, sometimes you don't. Sometimes it's just not a good fit. It just didn't vibe off. Yeah, and we're okay with that. Yeah. It's not like we're just, I guess that comes again with the experience.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, but again, that's for you guys. That holds true to what I was talking about. Why you guys have such strong integrity in the game. Yeah. And that longevity piece is just maintaining that truth to yourself, that you're not going to put yourself in a situation that you have to lie about who you are and how you feel about a situation, right? Yeah. To go back to having to talk about this DJ Illis character, but I wish you guys could have been a fly on a wall for a wedding that we did recently. It was a Hindu Ukrainian wedding.
Whoa!
And the bride was she was a professional dancer in a sense, but she had mad Ukrainian music that she gave, and so it's so funny. Like, and so this is one thing that I talk about, and this would be actually a great piece. But the DJ prepping, like prepping for the set, right?
Yeah.
I will 100% admit that I'm very lazy in that aspect. Like, I got my music. Oh, okay, I'll make my folders in the time, and just pop it in, and okay, I'll pull up the song if I have to. But it's just like, for the most part, I even have a couple mixes that are just pre-made. I'm like, if it's just like a karaoke gig, I'll put out a pre-made mix. I'm like, but I know how to actually mix if I have to.
Yeah.
But the way Sonu preps is so diligent. I mean, I'm talking about, we've been to over 22 cities in North America, so it's like when we're in these hotel rooms, I mean, the hours he spends prepping, I mean, this is outside of this client call and all that, but he's downloading the music, and then he's looking at remixes, and he's finding these little other channels and all this kind of stuff. But to see how he played between like Ukrainian music with like Bhangra music, with, I mean, and then going into hip hop, and then into like a pop club track, back to the Ukrainian song. I mean, just the stuff that he was doing, I was just like, man, fuck you, man. Like
100%.
we're at such a place, you know, and me and him are we're very much yin and yang, right? And so I'm at such a point where like I love him so much where I no longer can say it to him because I've said it way too much, you know. So now when he just is killing it, I'm like, you piece of shit, you know, like how dare you?
We've said that to each other. We exactly understand it.
But that's how you show you love in the game, right?
It is. You're just like,
it's no longer. You can't just tell them, hey, you're doing good.
I have no business being here. You're doing a great job. Like,
he knows.
I can't stand you.
Yeah.
I can't stand you.
I'm like,
what you're doing.
Yeah, you're train wrecking, and I just leave.
you hear yourself be called a piece of shit to someone you very much trust. You're just like, hey, thanks, man.
Yeah.
Much love.
You my boy Blue, you know?
Blue. Shit, man. You know what? I would love to honestly, you know, take this to all the different realms that this conversation can go. And honestly, I definitely want to do this again.
It was awesome.
And I, as much as, you know, as much as I obviously prepped for this podcast episode, bringing whatever I need, I'm a very figure it out, and we figured it out. And so I'm trying to bring this podcast to wherever I'm ultimately going. But man, I'm definitely going to not bring people into the show. I mean, it's, you know, there might be an episode warranted to bring someone fresh in the game to kind of just get maybe a perspective of where they see things and maybe provide some education. But right here, it's kind of like my favorite conversations or episodes are the one where it's just real talking to real, and you know, I have so much love for what you guys do in the game, and so, you know, I'm just always excited whenever I get to hear my man, and I still have yet to do one with you, Alex.
We can do the next episode.
They're going to book DJ ALX, but I want 2 extra X's. I want 2 extra X's.
It was actually Al XXX. That's how it was.
ALX X.
So it's AL and then 3 X's. Al XXX.
So real quick, go into that history because I can't meander around that.
I mean, it's nothing spectacular. It wasn't any like the story.
How much baby oil did that name come with? I gotta know.
Oh man, gallons.
Before Costco, ladies and gentlemen.
This was the 90s. This was the 90s for sure.
Well, Eckards, you know.
What happened? So basically, he was DJ ALX. We had him on the flyer as DJ ALX, and he woke up one day and said, "I want to do something different. I want to change my name." Or what do you guys think about DJ Al XXX? And we said, why? And for some reason,
you're a good friend.
Adamant that he wanted to be called DJ Al XXX. He felt the need for 3 X's. He ran with it for a bit. And
like at least a decade.
I wouldn't say it was a decade. It was like
7 years,
probably like 2 or 3 years, and then I think it just
that's how long he at least took it seriously.
He got tired of signing breasts with extra X's, and so he's probably hand got him.
I mean, all those aunties having to remove the sorry and everything like that,
and he was like, you know what,
too much.
You guys are right, dude. I'm just gonna go back. And I think we try to explain to him, like, you know, this is kind of pornographic. Like, you probably shouldn't do this and this and that, but I don't think he just loved it. I'm
glad you said that. I'm glad you said that. Because for me, you know, I hear Al XXX, I think of like the Persian video store owner, like, Habibi, I got Pamela Atomili video, great quality.
That's the guy, right?
You need sexy clip. You come talk to Al XXX. Habibi, show you good times.
That's the best.
We tried.
Oh man.
And naturally, then the 2 X's dropped.
I just never had an E because I got this name in I think it was 4th grade. They wanted to call me Andy, and I was like, no. I'm not an Andy. I was like, I don't mind.
I would have loved
Alex.
to meet an Indian man named Andy.
I know, right?
Actually.
Andy. We know Andy.
Yeah, we do. But they said, okay, Alex.
Actually, I have a cousin named Andrew, but he hates Andy. So.
So I got Alex, and then I was too embarrassed to ask how to spell it, so I just Alex. ALX.
ALX.
Yeah. And I just spelled it that way. They tried to correct me and it just never worked. And I was like, all right, it's ALX.
Sometimes you just got to look back to the original answer, you know?
Yeah.
But you needed Al XXX to happen.
I needed it to
have
understand.
DJ ALX now.
Thank you. Yes.
Wait, the jersey, it says Al XXX?
Yeah, it's ALXXX.
XXX.
Okay,
so there is proof.
So, granted, we did not even give the luxury of this podcast episode to give it a break because there was just too much love and substance. But for the next episode, which I will be hopefully magically being able to get it with both of you guys with all of your lively responsibilities and obligations, but for the next episode, you know what the fuck you're wearing.
I'm gonna bring it out.
I need to see that jersey.
I think I have yours too.
I think you do.
That has no name on it.
Yeah. I've been looking for that. I can't find it.
I mean, the subtlety is there, but
Straight up.
DJ No Name.
No name.
Who's that guy?
What was my name? It was DJ Technique.
Oh, he was DJ Technique, which he had no technique
and then
associated with it.
Yeah.
This guy used to show up with a shoebox full of CDs.
Yeah.
And I hated him for that because I was like, I'm showing up with milk crates of vinyl.
Yeah.
You know who that reminds me of? That reminds me of Timmy motherfucking Joseph of Do It All Entertainment.
Yeah.
Because back in the day, it used to be DJ Nocturnal. Can't DJ with the shit. Ain't got rhythm with the shit. Can't sing with the shit. Is that I don't like the spotlight. That's why he saves it for me and Sonny. He handles all the back end stuff.
Yeah.
But let me tell you about DJ Nocturnal. I think the only relevance is that man probably got the night shift when he got his nursing degree. So that's probably all it was.
It was on his resume.
But he had nothing. And I remember he had, I think, Sonny's first mixtape. It was like High Rise Volume 1.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a Volume 2, but there's definitely
There's a
a Volume 1. But there was beat drops that he would do for himself for DJ Nocturnal, and I'm just like, Timmy, you didn't do shit. You didn't do shit, you know?
Shouts out to Timmy.
Shout out to Timmy, though. Do it all entertainment.
We had a guy like that. We had a guy that didn't do anything, but he
But
he had to be on every flyer, every CD, and all that.
Oh, yes, we did.
Timmy is imperative. Timmy's imperative to the operation of Do It All.
Of course,
we cannot
of
have
course.
Do It All without Timmy. Like
but we're talking about the DJ.
But the DJ portion
We were just talking about the DJ part.
did shit. If Sonny wasn't
they're
available,
quick to put DJ in front of their name, but they're not DJing at all.
If all DJs were currently booked and Timmy was the only one available, it would be like, we have to cancel the gig. We have to cancel this contract right away. We have standards to live up to.
We're not available.
Yeah, and Timmy, and so because Timmy's a father of 3 and stuff like that, but me and him, it's like we have such a love-hate relationship. Like I tell Sanu all the time he's a piece of shit because he does dope shit. I tell Timmy he's a piece of shit because he does the shittiest things that drive me nuts. You know, so me and him have that's the love dynamic of that what makes Do It All work. But it's like ultimately it's like, I mean, it's the checks and balances too, right? Mm-hmm. And so me and Sanu, we will have the wild ideas and stuff. Timmy's the one that has a little bit more of that practical mindset, and we need that.
You need that.
But sometimes it's like, fucking Timmy, you buzzkill, just do it. Just spend the money, you cheap son of a bitch. You know?
It's called Do It All for a reason.
Do it all.
But
Come on, Timmy, do it all.
But like but the thing is, at the same time, is we have such a brotherly relationship where it's just like we'll just get so mad at each other. The next day I'm like, hey man, my bad. My bad too. You know? so it's I almost wish that there was a fly, like there's definitely a reality show concept that I would love to just showcase the dynamic of how Do It All just navigates.
That's a
with
great
each
idea,
other.
actually.
I mean, I would love to do it. I mean, just
People need to see sometimes, like
They need to see the back end of things, right?
They only see the good part. They only see the end result. They don't see the work up to it, and it's.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's all our guests. That's a lot of other vendors. Like we all roll. I mean, like we see the behind the scenes, but people don't see that kind of stuff.
Yeah, honestly, if just to give value to the fact that having a reality show based on an entertainment company that that does it, but focused on South Asian weddings.
Yeah.
If you want to know why this would sell, don't ask an Indian person how good an Indian wedding is. Find a white person who's been to an Indian wedding and see how they feel.
Oh yeah.
That changed their life 100% after the first sorry was soft. It changed their life, you know?
Oh.
And so, yeah, I mean, but I always said that would 100% be such a seller. I mean, look, like the Indian Matchmaker on Netflix.
Yeah.
That shit, I mean, again, in multiple seasons, I mean, trust me, people want to see what's going on in our game, you know? But, you know, but the cool part, I think, would be about the show is, like, it'd be bringing in all these companies, and then you have eventually these stories come together at these events. So it's like two different companies working together, and you see this camaraderie within the industry. But then at the same, every once in a while, you just be like, that fucking dumbass is so fucking shit. But either way, no names, but you know who you are. So, and if you say like they're not talking about me, it probably is you.
Yeah.
So it's basically a podcast.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Either way, before we branch into the realms of this being a part 2 episode, is there anything you guys want to leave off as far as anything you want to say to the world of who you are and what you want to leave to the world as you live in it?
I mean, I got to shout out DJ AM, who was a huge influence of mine, and
R.I.P.,
he had
right? R.I.P.
He had a quote that he had that I followed, and I even shout out to my mom, because this is what keeps me grounded, and I try to always believe. But AM always said, "Starve the ego, feed the soul," and that's something that he believed by. And somebody is of top of his game. I could email this guy, and he'd email me responses back. I mean, he was the
you had it like
legend.
that.
He was the legend of all legend DJs, and I still look up to him. I still listen to his mixes. I still try to mimic a lot of that stuff, but it always made me feel like if I could ever help anybody, and that's kind of what I've tried to model my life, and just if I can help anybody, if I can do something for anybody, even if we can't even DJ or we don't fit in a budget for a client, I still even offer a lot of advice.
Absolutely.
Get them somebody, try to figure it out, because like karma DJs, like I believe in karma, where and I've had that where people come back and they said, we couldn't book you for our daughter's wedding, but you were so helpful, we're going to book you now for the son's wedding. We want to do something. So I think that's just, if any young DJs, anybody out there that's listening, if you can believe and try to use that as a model to live by, I think you'll be a happier person.
Yeah, I mean, bottom line is, I mean, if the younger DJs out there, the only reason why because you asked this question, I just want to put it more towards the younger DJs out there, kind of know your music. And I'm venting, but I'm not. I just want you to know your music, understand what you're playing.
There's another old man just yelling at what the youth is doing.
And just, but enjoy it. Enjoy your life with the music, and
Don't worry
that's
about money.
about.
Don't worry about
Yeah, exactly.
That's a
Money
very
will
real
come.
statement. No, it's definitely a very real statement. And knowing your music, I think, is another way of just saying knowing yourself, right?
Yeah.
Because so many DJs, the vanity DJs, the ones that are the mix is happening with their heart, hands in the air, right? And you see these vanity DJs, and you can, I think, any proficient DJ can like look in the game and see a guy in the booth, on the decks, what he's doing, regardless if he's good or not, why he's in the game. You can literally see that, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, I think the realest DJs in the world always get to that point where they're like, man, I don't give a shit about the club. Like, if it's not writing me a check, I'm not giving them a check. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And it's one of those things, like, we put so much of our energy really into when we're in front of doing what we're doing. We put so much energy into it, and it's like, we know the value and the passion and the love that's going, like, that if this is a trade and barter system, and we weren't living in the society that we would do this every day. That this is what the contribution we would give to the world. So that's these two guys to the T that I'm reflecting with, and it's a beautiful thing for me to have my relationship with DJ Illis and have that closeness to see a like-minded two individuals that have their own style and genre, but that unity of coming together, that story and history. There's so much to unpack here. You need to bring me on your damn radio show.
Oh, definitely.
I need to be. I need to be in the ear. The showman needs to be in the ears of these H-Town people. Let them know who's in Texas. An easy 4.5 hour drive away.
Yeah.
And I love coming to Texas, man. I mean, I would say. Even before and after I moved to Texas, Houston's always shown me so much love. I've come down here a large handful of times, and outside of the amazing events I've done with Yogi.
I mean, there's so many DJs.
There's so many DJs.
I always hear that you're in
here.
town and stuff, so I love that.
And I'm so grateful and stuff. And that I shout out to another legendary DJ, DJ Impact, DJ Bajosi.
Yes, yeah, for sure.
The DJ that has the funnest name, BJ. Man, I love that dude. And then his right hand man, Dolly, who's probably I think been on a few of your events, Jubji.
Yeah. Jubji,
I love those two to death. And so it's like. And you know, I feel like every single time we do an event together, there's just that excitement. Like once we see each other, like you know. So
and I think that's kind of what I was telling you about Houston. We all get along, and I don't know. I don't want to take full credit or Alex or anything, but I feel like these guys can see us getting along with everybody. So we, you know, BJ used to come out to all our events at these club events. We're still cool. I could call BJ right now, and he'd show up with whatever we needed. Shout out to all the Houston DJs, Texas DJs for that matter.
Yeah, man, love to.
We try to get along with everyone
for sure.
And we don't let ego get in the way. We're nobody. We're just two DJs that love the music, and I think everybody can see that. So that's what we try to put out there.
And that's why you still are rocking the game, and y'all are doing what the fuck you guys were meant to be doing, y'all.
Yes, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been such an intuitive conversation, and I hope you guys enjoyed this comeback. As I have so many interviews set up that are coming up outside of the amazing entertainers, DJs, and whatnot. Now that I'm in the stand-up comedy world, I have some incredible comedians I'm going to be talking to. In one of my first few episodes that's going to be coming very, very soon, I'm going to be talking to the man himself, Mr. Paul Varghese.
Shout out Paul.
That man, it's you don't know how deep the game is until you really do that Google search, right? And I have seen this man live a large handful of times, and he's truly a master of his craft. And so I'm so excited to dive into that, and I know I've kept you guys on my toes, and I'm so ready for what he's gonna provide for me, because I feel like he's gonna comedy stump me, where he's just gonna say some shit, and I'm gonna be like, I got nothing, I got absolutely nothing.
Crickets.
Don't ever make fun of a comic.
Oh no. Oh no!
I learned that.
Or a showman.
And I got shitted on.
Or a showman. We're just too quick witted.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, we're gonna get that ass. But man, I cannot thank you both enough.
Thank you,
Alex, for lending us your space for us to be able to make this happen, and Yogi, for being able to. Give the excuse, bust out the tears for your wife in order for you to get the hour time away, step away from your cooking responsibilities for tonight.
Make dinner.
I mean, this is the man that makes the dreams happen. He brings the impossible happen. So thank you guys so much, y'all. This has been an amazing episode. I look forward to the next one, and I'm be sure to bring a bottle for this.
Next time, please, we're gonna get you on our show, Generation Radio.
I'm the game. Listen, I'm always ready to come to Houston and stuff. I'm like, listen, if you give me one gig, I was like, let's fill it up with as much stuff that I can do while I'm out there. So
we'll make it happen for sure.
I'm about it. So, ladies and gentlemen, you've been tuned in with the Metro Icon Podcast. I'm Shawn Kay the Showman, the one and only of Do It All Entertainment and DIA Media Solutions, and of course with me from Karma DJs, we got DJ Yogi and DJ ALX. It's been real, y'all.
Thank you.
Be well to each other, and we'll see you on the next episode of the Metro Icon Podcast.
You could do it all.
You can.
Do it all, baby.